The Galactic Council's ultimatum. The grand chamber of the Galactic Council hummed with tension. Representatives from 1,000 worlds shifted uneasily in their seats, their forms as diverse as the stars themselves. At the center of it all stood High Counselor Zalfresh, his crystalline body pulsing with barely contained energy. Order. I call this emergency session to order. Zalfresh's voice resonated through the chamber, silencing the murmurs and whispers. We face a grave threat. The Korik's dominion expands unchecked, consuming world after world. Our forces are stretched thin, and we need alternatives. A ripple of unease passed through the assembly. They all knew what alternatives meant. It was time to draw upon the reserves, to call in the neutral systems and force them to choose a side. Council of Exmora, a being of swirling gases contained within an ornate exosuit, pulsed with agitation. What of the humans? Earth has remained neutral for centuries, holding resources and technology while we bleed to maintain galactic peace. Zalfresh's crystalline form flickered, a sign of contemplation among his species. Yes, the humans. They've hidden behind their neutrality for too long. It's time they contribute to the greater good of the galaxy. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of agreement and protest. Earth was an enigma to many in the Council. They were known for their diplomacy and trade, but little else. Some viewed them as cowards, others as cunning manipulators. Silence. Zalfresh's form pulsed brightly, his patience wearing thin. We will send an ultimatum to Earth. They will join our war effort against the Koriks, or face the consequences of opposing the Galactic Council. As a decision was made, none in the chamber could have predicted the chain of events they were about to set in motion. Aboard the Terran diplomatic vessel Stargazer, Ambassador Elena Chen received the transmission from the Council. Her dark eyes narrowed as she read the ultimatum, a slight smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Captain," she called out, her voice calm despite the gravity of the message, "set course for Earth. It seems our time has finally come." The Stargazer slipped into faster-than-light travel, carrying news that would change the course of galactic history. Back on Earth, in the hidden depths beneath the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Marcus Steele stood before a vast holographic display of the galaxy. Countless pinpoints of light represented known star systems, with the territories of the Council and the Korik's dominion clearly delineated. "They've made their move, sir," his aide, Commander Sarah Hawkins, reported. "The ultimatum has been delivered." Steele's weathered face remained impassive, but a glint of anticipation shone in his steel-gray eyes. After all these years of waiting, of preparing in secret, they finally give us the excuse we needed. He turned to face the room filled with Earth's top military and political leaders. President Amara Okafor, her regal bearing befitting her position, stepped forward. "Ladies and gentlemen," she addressed the assembly, her voice rich with authority, "Operation Starburst is now in effect. May history remember this as the day humanity stepped out of the shadows." As the leaders of Earth set their long-laid plans into motion, the Galactic Council waited with bated breath for a response to their ultimatum. They expected fear, perhaps anger, or desperate pleas for negotiation. What they received instead was a simple 3-word message that would echo through the annals of galactic history. "We respectfully decline." In the council chamber, Zalfresh read the message aloud, his crystalline form flickering with confusion. What does this mean? They decline, just like that. Vexmora's gaseous form swirled agitatedly within her exosuit. It's a trick. It must be. The humans are trying to buy time, to negotiate from a position of strength. But Councillor Xin, an ancient being whose species had long studied the patterns of history, felt a deep sense of foreboding. "No," he rasped, his voice like dry leaves in the wind. "I fear we have gravely misunderstood the humans. This is not the response of a species caught off guard. This is the response of one that has been waiting." As the council leaders argued and speculated, humanity was already on the move. In shipyards hidden in the Kuiper Belt, vast fleets that had been constructed in secret over centuries began to power up. In underground bases on Earth and its colonies, soldiers donned advanced powered armor and prepared for deployment. And deep within a mountain on Mars, in a chamber known only to a select few, President Okafor stood before a device that held the power to reshape the very fabric of spacetime. "Are you certain about this, Madam President?" Admiral Steele asked, standing at her side. "Once we reveal our true capabilities, there's no going back. The galaxy will never see us the same way again." Okafor's gaze remained fixed on the device, its swirling energies reflecting in her eyes. "For centuries, we've watched the Council and the Chorix tear the galaxy apart with their wars. We've seen species enslaved, planets destroyed. We stayed neutral not out of cowardice, but because we weren't ready. Now we are." She placed her hand on the activation panel, and the device thrummed to life, its energy pulsing in sync with the beating of her heart. "The Council wanted to force our hand. Well, they're about to learn why you should be careful what you wish for. It's time for humanity to take its place on the galactic stage." As the device powered up, its energy rippling through subspace, every human ship and installation across the solar system received the activation signal. Cloaking fields that had hidden humanity's true military might for centuries began to drop. In orbit around Jupiter, Fleet Admiral Yuki Tanaka watched as her ships decloaked, revealing a vast armada that dwarfed anything the Council or the Chorix Dominion could field. "All ships, this is Admiral Tanaka," she broadcasted to her fleet. "The time for hiding is over. Set course for the Arcturus system. Today, we show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of." As Earth's fleets moved out, carrying with them weapons and technologies beyond the imagination of their would-be rulers, the rest of the galaxy remained blissfully unaware of the storm that was about to break upon them. In the council chamber, Zalfresh and his fellow leaders continued to debate and plan, confident in their superiority, unaware that their ultimatum had not cowed humanity, but had instead awakened a sleeping giant. The stage was set, humanity was on the move, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Earth's secret preparations unveiled. The Terran battleship Prometheus emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Arcturus system, its sleek obsidian hull absorbing the light from nearby stars. On the bridge, Admiral Yuki Tanaka stood before a holographic display, her cybernetic eyes scanning the data streams flowing around her. "Status report," she commanded, her voice calm but carrying an undercurrent of excitement. Her XO, Commander Raj Patel, a man whose body was more machine than flesh after years of enhancements, responded crisply. "All systems nominal, Admiral. The fleet is emerging from hyperspace in perfect formation. No detection of Council or Chorix forces in the immediate vicinity." Tanaka allowed herself a small smile. "Excellent. Initiate Phase 2. Let's give our new allies a proper introduction to humanity's real capabilities." As the Terran fleet moved into formation, other ships began to emerge from hyperspace. These weren't warships, but massive factory ships, mobile shipyards, and resource extractors. Within hours, the previously empty sector of space was transforming into a bustling hub of human military and industrial might. Back on Earth, in the hidden command center beneath the Pacific Ocean, President Amara Okafor addressed the global population in a historic broadcast. Billions watched as their leader, standing before a backdrop of swerving holographic star maps, revealed the truth that had been hidden for so long. "My fellow Terrans," she began, her voice strong and clear. "For centuries, we have hidden our true strength from the galaxy. We have watched and waited as other species tore each other apart in endless wars. We developed in secret, pushing the boundaries of science and technology, all in preparation for this day." She paused, her gaze seeming to meet that of every viewer. "The Galactic Council sought to bully us into their war. They believed us weak, unprepared. Today, we prove them wrong. Today, humanity steps out of the shadows and takes its rightful place among the stars." As Okafor's words echoed across Earth and its colonies, the reaction was one of overwhelming pride and determination. Humans had long known they were preparing for something big, even if the details had been classified. Now, with the truth revealed, a wave of excitement and purpose swept through the population. In shipyards and factories across the solar system, production kicked into high gear. Advanced AI systems, long hidden from the rest of the galaxy, coordinated a logistical dance of unprecedented scale. Raw materials from asteroid mines and gas giant harvesting operations flowed into manufacturing centers, emerging as state-of-the-art weapons and ships. On Mars, Admiral Marcus Steele oversaw the deployment of the Terran Marine Corps. Soldiers in powered armor that could shrug off conventional energy weapons ran combat drills, their movements enhanced by neural interfaces that linked them directly to their suits and weapons. "Remember," Steele addressed his troops, his voice gruff but filled with pride, "we're not just fighting for Earth anymore. We're fighting to reshape the galaxy into something better. The Council and the Chorix have had their chance. Now it's our turn." As humanity's war machines sprang into action, the first diplomatic contacts between Terran forces and the Council fleet were taking place. Admiral Tanaka, flanked by a team of diplomats and military advisors, stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, facing a holographic projection of High Counselor Zalfresh and his entourage. "Welcome, Admiral," Zalfresh began, struggling to keep his voice steady. "We appreciate Earth's prompt response to our call for aid." Tanaka's expression remained neutral, but there was a glint of amusement in her eyes. "Thank you, High Counselor. We're eager to assist in bringing this conflict with the Chorix to a swift conclusion. Perhaps you'd like a demonstration of our capabilities?" Before Zalfresh could respond, alarms blared across both Terran and Council networks. The Chorix, somehow alerted to the gathering of forces, had launched a massive assault on a nearby Council world. Tanaka's expression hardened. "It seems the enemy has chosen to accelerate our timetable. High Counselor, with your permission, the Terran fleet will take point on this operation. It's time to show the Chorix exactly what they're dealing with." As the human ships moved into attack formation, their engines glowing with exotic energies, the rest of the galaxy held its breath. The sleeping giant had awakened, and the true extent of humanity's power was about to be unleashed. Meanwhile, deep within the heart of Chorix territory, something stirred. In a chamber of living metal and pulsing bioorganic technology, the hive mind of the Chorix Dominion became aware of a new player on the galactic stage. Billions of interconnected minds focused their attention on the approaching human fleet. For the first time in millennia, the Chorix felt something akin to fear. They had anticipated the predictable tactics of the Council, but these humans, they were an unknown variable. The hive mind issued a command, and across their vast empire, the Chorix began to adapt. As both sides prepared for the impending clash, a lone figure watched from the shadows. Neither human nor alien, this enigmatic being had orchestrated events from behind the scenes for eons. Now, as humanity revealed its true power, a plan countless millennia in the making was finally coming to fruition. The galaxy stood on the brink of a new era, one that would be shaped by the actions of humanity in the coming conflict. The stage was set for a battle that would redefine the very nature of galactic civilization. And as the first shots were about to be fired, the ancient being smiled. The true game was only just beginning. The quantum gambit. The void between stars erupted in a dazzling display of light and energy as the Terran fleet engaged the Chorix assault force. At the forefront of the battle, the sleek obsidian forms of Earth's warships moved with a grace that belied their immense power. Admiral Yuki Tanaka stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, her cybernetic eyes tracking the swerving holographic battle map before her. The Chorix ships, a chaotic mass of biomechanical monstrosities, swarmed toward the Council world of Novaris Prime. "Commander Patel, status report," Tanaka ordered, her voice calm amidst the controlled chaos of the bridge. Patel's augmented synapses fired rapidly as he processed incoming data streams. "The Chorix have committed approximately 60% of their local forces to this assault, Admiral. Their vanguard will make contact with our forward elements in T-30 seconds." Tanaka nodded, a small smile playing at the corners of her mouth. Excellent. It's time to introduce ourselves properly. All ships, execute Operation Quantum Gambit. Across the Terran fleet, crews sprang into action. On the smaller, nimbler frigates, pilots linked their minds directly to their ship's neural interfaces, becoming one with their vessels. Aboard the massive dreadnoughts, weapons officers primed systems that could reshape the very fabric of spacetime. As the two fleets clashed, the true extent of humanity's technological prowess became apparent. Terran ships phased in and out of normal space, making them nearly impossible to target. Their energy weapons lanced out, not with beams of light or plasma, but with concentrated streams of exotic particles that simply erased portions of Korik's ships from existence. From the Council command ship, High Counselor Zalfresh watched in stunned silence as the humans tore through the Korik's lines like a hot knife through butter. "By the cosmic egg," he whispered, his crystalline form shimmering with a mix of awe and fear. "What have we awakened?" The Koriks, for their part, fought with the savage determination that had made them the scourge of the galaxy. Their ships, more organic than mechanical, sprouted new weapons and sealed breaches even as they were torn apart. Waves of smaller craft, piloted by genetically engineered warriors linked directly to their vessels, swarmed the Terran and Council ships. It was in these closer engagements that the true versatility of humanity's forces shone. Terran Marines, clad in powered armor that made them walking tanks, launched from their ships in quantum entanglement pods. They materialized inside Korik's vessels, fighting hand-to-hand with creatures that were the stuff of nightmares. Sergeant Maria Chen, leader of Quantum Strike Team Echo, grunted as she smashed her powered fist through the chest cavity of a Korik's warrior. The creature's acidic blood sizzled against her armor's energy shields, but failed to penetrate. "Echo Team, push forward," she barked over the squad comm. "We need to reach the central node and plant those dimensional charges before this whole ship goes quantum." As Chen and her team fought their way through the twisting, organic corridors of the Korik's ship, similar scenes played out across the battlefield. Humanity's soldiers, enhanced by technology and trained to perfection, proved more than a match for the Korik's biological horrors. Back on the Prometheus, Admiral Tanaka watched as the tide of battle shifted decisively in their favor. "The enemy fleet is breaking up," Commander Pertel reported, a note of excitement creeping into his usually stoic voice. "They're attempting to regroup at coordinates Delta 93. Tanaka's eyes narrowed. "Not if I have anything to say about it. Signal the Nexus. It's time to end this." At the rear of the Terran formation, a massive ship unlike any other began to move. The TFS Nexus, Earth's first and only quantum rift generator, powered up its main systems. Energy readings spiked off the charts as the ship prepared to unleash a weapon that would change the face of warfare forever. "Nexus is in position, Admiral," Platel confirmed, "awaiting your command." Tanaka took a deep breath, acutely aware of the weight of the moment. "Nexus, you are cleared to fire. Let's show these Xenos why you don't pick a fight with humanity." The Nexus's main cannon began to glow with an otherworldly light. Space itself seemed to warp and twist around the massive vessel. Then, with a silent flash that momentarily outshone the nearby stars, a beam of pure quantum energy lanced out toward the regrouping Korik's fleet. The effects were immediate and catastrophic. Where the beam touched, reality itself unraveled. Korik's ships didn't explode or break apart. They simply ceased to exist, erased from the very fabric of spacetime. In the span of a few heartbeats, the battle was over. The remaining Korik's vessels, faced with a power they couldn't hope to comprehend, let alone combat, turned tail and fled. As the dust settled and damage reports began to flood in, a stunned silence fell over the combined Terran and Council fleets. They had won, yes, but at what cost? And what would this mean for the future of the galaxy? Deep within the Korik's hive mind, panic spread like wildfire. For the first time in their collective memory, the Korix faced an enemy they couldn't adapt to, couldn't overcome through sheer biological manipulation. The humans had changed the rules of the game entirely. And in the shadows, unnoticed by all, the ancient being watched with growing interest. Humanity had exceeded even its wildest expectations. The cosmic chess game had entered a new phase, and the stakes had just gotten infinitely higher. As the Terran fleet regrouped and prepared to secure the Novaris system, Admiral Tanaka couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. Humanity had stepped onto the galactic stage with a bang, but the real challenges and the real revelations were yet to come. The quantum gambit had paid off, but the game was far from over. And as the echoes of the battle faded into the void, the galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what humanity would do next. The cosmic tapestry unravels. In the aftermath of the quantum gambit, silence fell across the galaxy. But it was not the silence of peace. It was the hushed anticipation before a cosmic storm. On Earth, in a chamber hidden beneath the Mariana Trench, President Amora Okafor stood before the cosmic loom, a device that defied conventional understanding. Its shimmering threads of light represented the very fabric of reality, each strand a potential timeline, a possible future. "Show me," Okafor commanded, her voice barely above a whisper. The loom pulsed, and the chamber filled with holographic projections of countless alternate realities. In one, humanity cowered before the might of the Galactic Council. In another, the Korix dominion consumed all in its path. But there, at the center, a golden thread pulsed with possibility. Admiral Marcus Steele, his weathered face illuminated by the ethereal light, stepped forward. "Madam President, the loom has never shown us this thread before. What does it mean?" Okafor's eyes narrowed. "It means, Admiral, that we've changed the game. The future is no longer written. It's time for Phase Omega." Across the solar system, hidden quantum relays activated, sending faster-than-light signals to Earth's secret outposts scattered throughout the galaxy. Operation Starweaver had begun. Meanwhile, aboard the Prometheus, Admiral Yuki Tanaka received an urgent transmission. Her cybernetic eyes widened as she processed the information. "All hands, battle stations," she barked. "We're detecting massive quantum fluctuations. Something's coming through." Space itself seemed to tear open before the Terran fleet. From the rift emerged a ship unlike any they had ever seen, a massive crystalline structure that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once. "This is Ambassador Zephyr of the Timeless Concordat," a voice echoed in their minds. "We come from what you would call the far future. Your actions have rippled across the cosmos, altering the grand design. We are here to ensure the proper flow of causality." Tanaka's mind raced. Time travelers. This was beyond even humanity's most advanced theories. "Ambassador," she responded cautiously, "we mean no harm to the timeline. We're simply defending ourselves and our allies." "Intention is irrelevant," Zephyr's mental voice resonated. "The cosmic tapestry must be preserved. Your quantum gambit has created paradoxes that threaten the very foundations of reality. We are here to correct this anomaly." As the timeless Concordat ship approached, reality itself began to warp. Terran vessels found their quantum technology malfunctioning, timelines bleeding into one another. Deep within the Korix hive mind, a new consciousness awoke. The temporal disturbances had triggered a long-dormant genetic memory. The Korix, it seemed, were not native to this universe. They were refugees from a reality long since destroyed. And in the shadows, the ancient being watched with growing concern. This was not part of the plan. The humans were meant to be the key, yes, but not like this. Not so soon. Back on Earth, the cosmic loom began to unravel. President Okafor watched in horror as timeline after timeline collapsed. "Steele," she turned to the Admiral, her voice urgent, "initiate the Lazarus Protocol. We need to stabilize the quantum field before." Her words were cut short as a blinding light engulfed the chamber. When it faded, Okafor found herself elsewhere. A realm beyond space and time, where the laws of physics were mere suggestions. Before her stood beings of pure energy, their forms constantly shifting. Amara Okafor, they spoke as one, their voice resonating through her very being. You stand at the fulcrum of existence. Your choices will determine the fate of not just your universe, but all universes. As Okafor grappled with this cosmic revelation, the battle above Earth took an unexpected turn. The timeless Concordat, the Chorix, and the Terran fleet found themselves locked in a three-way conflict that threatened to tear apart the fabric of spacetime. Admiral Tanaka, her ship facing in and out of reality, made a desperate decision. All ships, she commanded, divert all power to the quantum cores. We're going to dive into the rift. The Terran fleet, glowing with otherworldly energy, plunged into the multidimensional tier. As they entered, they triggered a cascade of quantum events that rippled across the galaxy. In that moment, past, present, and future collided. The Galactic Council, the Chorix Dominion, the timeless Concordat, all found themselves face to face with alternate versions of themselves, with roads not taken and futures yet to be. And at the heart of it all, humanity stood at a crossroads. Their actions had shattered the predetermined path of the cosmos. Now they faced a choice that would reshape the very nature of existence. As the quantum storm raged, a single question echoed across realities. In a universe of infinite possibilities, what future would humanity choose? The answer, it seemed, lay not in the stars, but in the collective will of a species that had defied the very laws of reality. The next move in this cosmic chess game would determine the fate of all creation. And somewhere, the ancient beings smiled. The true game had finally begun. The symphonic convergence. In the quantum maelstrom where past, present, and future collided, reality itself began to sing. The vibrations of existence, once imperceptible to mortal senses, now resonated through every atom of every being caught in the cosmic storm. Admiral Yuki Tanaka, her consciousness expanded beyond the confines of her physical form, found herself conducting an orchestra of timelines. Each decision, each possibility, became a note in a vast, multidimensional symphony. We are the melody, she realized, her thoughts echoing across realities. And the dissonance. As the Terran fleet phased through layers of existence, they encountered versions of themselves from timelines that never were. Ships piloted by long-dead crews, vessels made of pure thought, fleets that had evolved beyond the need for physical form, all danced in a dizzying waltz of quantum probability. Meanwhile, in the realm beyond space and time, President Amara Okafor faced the cosmic arbiters, beings of pure potential that existed at all points of time simultaneously. Your species stands at the crossroads of infinity, the arbiters spoke, their voices a harmony of all possible sounds. But to move forward, you must understand the true nature of your existence. With a gesture, the arbiters revealed to Okafor the multiversal tapestry, an infinite fractal of realities, each thread a universe, each knot a decision point. And there, at the center of it all, was Earth, not just one, but infinite versions, each vibrating at a unique frequency. We are not just one humanity, Okafor gasped, the revelation threatening to overwhelm her mortal mind. We are all humanities, across all possible worlds. As this cosmic truth unfurled, something unprecedented occurred. The quantum entanglement that linked all versions of Earth across the multiverse suddenly amplified. In that moment, every human in every reality became aware of their alternate selves. The effect was immediate and transformative. Scientists who had taken different paths in life shared knowledge across realities. Leaders who had made different choices gained new perspectives. The collective wisdom and experience of infinite humanities converged into a singular, multidimensional consciousness. Back in the heart of the quantum storm, the Chorix hive mind found itself fractured and reformed. The genetic memories of their multiversal exodus awakened fully, revealing a truth long forgotten. They were not conquerors, but guardians, tasked eons ago with preserving the delicate balance of reality. As the Chorix remembered their true purpose, they reached out across the quantum field, their bioorganic technology resonating with the vibrations of existence. They began to stabilize the chaos, their once destructive force now a balm to the wounded fabric of spacetime. The timeless Concordat, witnessing this transformation, realized the short-sightedness of their mission. They had sought to preserve a single timeline, blind to the grand symphony of the multiverse. In a gesture of cosmic humility, they surrendered their technology to the newly awakened human overmind. At the heart of it all, the ancient being watched in awe as its eons-long plan unfolded in ways it could never have predicted. The game had evolved beyond its design, the players transcending the board entirely. As the quantum storm began to subside, a new order emerged from the chaos. The boundaries between realities remained, but now they were permeable, allowing for a free flow of knowledge and experience across the multiverse. Humanity, once bound to a single world in a single universe, now stood as the custodians of infinite realities. The Galactic Council, the Chorix, the timeless Concordat, all found themselves part of a greater whole, their conflicts rendered meaningless in the face of cosmic harmony. Admiral Tanaka, her consciousness returning to her physical form, looked out at the transformed galaxy. Stars pulsed with new energy, planets phased in and out of alternative states, and in the space between, new life bloomed, beings born of pure quantum potential. "We have become more than we were," she mused, her words carried on waves of quantum resonance. "And yet we are still ourselves." As the last echoes of the cosmic symphony faded, a new age dawned for the multiverse. The barriers between science and mysticism, between the physical and the metaphysical, had crumbled. Reality itself had become a canvas, and every sentient being an artist. But even as humanity reveled in its newfound cosmic awareness, a question lingered in the quantum ether. In a reality where all possibilities exist simultaneously, what challenges await a species that has transcended the very concept of limitation? The answer, it seemed, lay in the infinite potential of the next moment, and the moment after that, stretching into an eternity of cosmic evolution. And somewhere, the ancient being nodded in satisfaction. The game had become the player the game. The true adventure was just beginning. The paradox of infinite singularity. In the wake of the symphonic convergence, reality itself held its breath. The multiverse, once a tapestry of separate threads, had become a Mobius strip of infinite complexity. Humanity, now a singular consciousness spanning all possible realities, stood at the precipice of a new form of existence. Admiral Yuki Tanaka, her being now a quantum superposition of all possible Tanakas, found herself face to face with the ultimate paradox. As she gazed into the heart of creation, she saw not stars or planets, but pure information, the underlying code of the universe itself. "We've become the observers and the observed," she mused, her thoughts rippling across the quantum foam of spacetime. The cat in Schrödinger's box, alive and dead, and everything in between. Suddenly, a new presence made itself known, a being of such incomprehensible nature that even the newly ascended humanity struggled to perceive it. It existed simultaneously as a single point and as the entirety of the multiverse, a living paradox that defied all logic. "I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the question and the answer," it spoke, its voice a sound of universes being born and dying in the same instant. "I am you and you are me, and we are all that is and isn't." President Amara Okafor, her consciousness now spanning the entirety of human history across all realities, stepped forward to confront this cosmic entity. "What are you?" she asked, her words shaping reality itself. "I am the end result of your journey," the entity replied. "I am what humanity becomes when it reaches the end of time, the point where all knowledge is gained, all experiences lived, all possibilities explored. I am your future, your past, your present, the sum total of all human potential realized." The revelation sent shockwaves through the collective human consciousness. They were facing not some alien god, but themselves, the ultimate endpoint of their own evolution. As this truth settled in, the very fabric of reality began to unravel. The paradox of a species encountering its own final form threatened to collapse the entire multiverse into a single point of infinite density, a new Big Bang waiting to happen. In this moment of cosmic crisis, the Chorix, the Galactic Council, and the timeless Concordat all ceased to exist as separate entities. The boundaries between species, between organic and synthetic, between matter and energy, all dissolved. Everything that was, is, or could be merged into a singular point of infinite possibility. And in that singularity, humanity faced its greatest challenge yet, the choice to either let the cycle of creation begin anew, or to transcend the very concept of existence itself. Admiral Tanaka, President Okafor, and every other human across all realities found themselves voting not with words or thoughts, but with the very essence of their being. Each quantum fluctuation, each vibration of their collective consciousness shaped the decision that would determine the fate of all that is and all that could be. In the end, it wasn't a choice made by any individual, but a collective decision emerging from the sum total of human experience across the multiverse. They chose neither to restart nor to end, but to transform. The singularity exploded, not into a new universe, but into something entirely unprecedented, a state of existence beyond space, beyond time, beyond the very concepts of being and non-being. Humanity became a living paradox, simultaneously everywhere and nowhere, everything and nothing. In this new state, the distinctions between past, present, and future became meaningless. Every moment in human history, every decision ever made, every possibility ever imagined, all existed simultaneously in an eternal, ever-changing now. The ancient being, the cosmic game master who had set this all in motion eons ago, found itself absorbed into this new form of existence. Its purpose fulfilled, it became just another note in the grand symphony of paradoxical being. And so, humanity's journey reached its ultimate conclusion, only to begin anew in ways impossible to comprehend. They had become the storytellers and the story, the players and the game, the universe experiencing itself in infinite, paradoxical wonder. As this new form of existence spread across the former multiverse, reshaping the very nature of reality, a final thought echoed through the cosmic consciousness. In the face of infinite possibility, the greatest adventure is not to conquer or to know, but to eternally become. And with that, the tale of humanity's cosmic ascension came to an end, and to an infinite number of new beginnings, all happening in the same timeless instant. The paradox of infinite singularity was complete, and the true nature of existence revealed itself to be an eternal, joyous dance of becoming.